Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nottingham Forest Career Mode episode. What does it really matter? I've uploaded like 10 of these in the last 3 months. So consistency, obviously, has gone back out the window. Anyway, games. They're all happening here tonight. Semi-final of the EFL Cup against Manchester City. Of course, we simmed the first game in the last episode, I believe, which we lost 1-0 at home, which is okay. They can take a home loss just as long as we can bounce back from it here tonight and get the win. You can see the lineup we're going with again. Jurgen Locadia back, and it's so nice to have him back in the squad, and hopefully here today he returns back to form. I mean, we played him in the last game of the episode, however long ago that was, but he didn't really get the chance to shine, and this time around we're hoping that will be the case. But there's Manchester City's lineup. I mean, you know, you can feel a little bit confident when they're playing Fabian Delph and Wilfred Bonney against you. So that being said, Cressante got the things underway. Look at this here, nice little passing through. It's Jurgen Locadia almost immediately. Well, not really actually, but you know what? He ties it up. He's back. He scores the goal, and it's 1-1 on aggregate now. And it's almost as if letting the floodgates open. He just gets through the defence there, is able to stay on side just about and knock that one home past Rulli for the 1-0 opener. Very nicely done indeed, and so nice to just see him back in the squad. We move on here. Only 4 minutes later, it's Cressante again with the ball, doing an awful lot of work this game already, it seems. Plays it down to Locadia now, who has to go on the wing to try and fill in the gap that was left. Passes a lovely ball into Ethan Baker, and it's the youth player, Ethan Baker, knocking in his first goal for the senior team. Very nice goal as well. The pass by Locadia was something spectacular to behold as well. That pass right there is not really an easy pass in any stretch of the imagination. It's in traffic. He's got to get around people. But Ethan Baker keeps it calm, cool and collected as well. Finishes it off, and within 5 minutes or thereabouts, we've gone from being 1-0 behind an aggregate to 2-1 up. And a spot of taking on Burnley in the finals at Wembley. Now we move on. It's not even the end of the first half yet, and we're still looking strong. We're still looking like we're able to get something going here. Paulista with an absolutely phenomenal run. Not even tested. Great pass around Locadia, and it's 3-0 before the break. It's 3-1 on aggregate. And it gives us comfortable breathing room against Manchester City. I mean, I know they'd still need 2 goals to come back, and they could do it. But as it currently stands, it is looking all said and done, really, for Manchester City. Lovely goal by Locadia now. 2 goals, 1 assist in just the first half means we are in really good business. De Bruyne there gets perhaps Manchester City's best shot of the game so far. And even then, it was a bit of a disappointing one. Didn't look like he was going to challenge Lafont at all. No, it's way too wide to challenge Lafont, but nevertheless, we move on now. It's the 90th minute. We're 3-0 up. Could we add to it? Maybe so. Locadia subbed off. Locadia and Baker subbed off for Sincgraven and Rooney. Sincgraven now with the ball, able to go off for so long. Lovely pass into Rooney. Ball falls back to him, and who would it be but Wayne Rooney to score the final goal to seal us into the finals of the EFL Cup. It's a lovely run there by both men. They hooked up well. I think that's Mangala who gets in that block. It's a nice block, but Wayne Rooney is there right away to tap it in with his left foot. One of the best signings we've made in his career thus far, and he shows why as he secures, I think it was like his 8th or 9th goal for the club this season. Wayne Rooney been an absolute machine for us. But it was Jurgen Locadia who I think people are going to be talking about today. 2 goals and an assist on his first, I think it might have been his, no, he started the last game as well. But you know what, this is being a great chance for him to get out there and prove himself. And he did a solid job. And it's always great to see that name back in the squad. And there he is again, playing against Derby, this time in the FA Cup. Last season, this was a huge game for us, of course, due to the rivalry between Derby and Nottingham Forest that actually goes on. However, now, of course, with us being in the Premier League, it's kind of secondary to us. It doesn't really mean anything. Although it might, because we drew 1-0 with them and we got to play a replay against them at the end of this episode. Got very lucky there in the 89th minute with that missed penalty. But thankfully, we're not out of the FA Cup just yet, and that means more games for us to play, more trophies for us to win, and more happy stuff. So, Watford next. As you can see, we are looking to try and close that gap on the leaders, West Ham. Never thought I'd say that, but it's always nice to get that out there. And I realised that we're not actually as bad as I thought we were. We've only lost 1 game away this season, and that gives me, for some reason, a lot of confidence just thinking about that. We've only lost 1 game away from home this season, but we have drawn 4 of them, which is quite a lot of dropped points as well. So we got to take the good with the bad, really, and then realise that Watford have Yuri Tielemans on their team. Let's just remember that for a second. Nevertheless, you saw the lineup we're playing there. Jurgen Locadia up front again. Obviously going to be playing a lot more now. Fixtures aren't as frequent as they were in the January months, meaning we don't always have to change up the squad, and this is a nice start. Locadia goes to take the shot, but Grujic picks up the scraps and knocks it in the back of the net for another goal for Marko Grujic. He got very lucky there indeed, but the fact the ball was able to fall to him was nice enough as well. The build-up play was promising. Locadia's shot looked like it was about to thump its way into the back of the net, but if not for the block by Kabul, I believe, but it just falls to Grujic. Didn't even really have to try to get it past Pantilimon, and it's an early 1-0 lead. Watford look to try and respond here in their own way. It's a name I can't pronounce, and it's straight into the hands of Lafont. Simple enough for us to deal with. Now we move on a little bit later to get a free kick here. El Nene does a great job of making sure Barami can't get on that ball, and now El Nene trying to start a counter-attack. Whips up a ball to Locadia. He's still onside. Jurgen Locadia stayed onside, and the ball just rolls into the corner. What a counter-attack by El Nene and Locadia, and once more he scores for us. Jurgen Locadia back and in flying form with yet another goal for the club. 11.5 million we spent for him last season. I know he spent a lot of it injured as of late, but it has been well worth the money. Kabul practically kept him on side. It was like he grabbed onto him, kept him on side, and then Locadia just possesses that natural pace and strength to just brush off any of Kabul's threats and let it go. Let it go! Flying. Well, not really flying, but trundling past Pantilimon into the back of the net. 2-0 up. It's still the first half. Chance for Watford really to get themselves back in the game right now. We were doing well on defence, but that was until Yuri Tielemans absolutely thumped it into the back of the net. This is one of those headers where you'd normally call bullshit, but it is such a nice header. Tielemans, of course, who has just moved to Monaco in real life and is probably going to be a star there in the seasons to come. Just scores that absolute beauty of a goal, and we are going to see this on the replay. Lafont could have done better maybe, but it just seemed as if Tielemans just had him. Manages to break his marker of delict, backs up into Grujic, who can't beat him in the air, and Tielemans gets it over Lafont and into the back of the net. 2-1. Game could be back into Watford's hands here. They could try and mount an attack, but for some reason Enes Unal is left with so much space. Can he get his first goal for the club? No, he can't. Brought him on for Locadia just to make sure Locadia's fitness was alright and he didn't get too injured. And Enes Unal still without his first goal, still missing those crucial shots, but we were able to hang on to that 2-1 win. And that means 3 more points in the bag and hopefully closing the gap down on the leaders West Ham. They are 7 points ahead, and yeah, we still have about a third of the season to go. Actually, no, we probably have more than a third of the season to go thinking about it, but it is still crunch time to try and close down on them before we are out of that title race. And so with that being said, we move on to our next match now. Another match in the Premier League against Swansea. Not too sure where Swansea are, but good news for us at least. And that is that we are up to second. Albeit, everyone else has a game in hand on us, but we are at least up into second place right now. And it shows that we've been able to bounce back. Our bounce back ability now over the last few months, over these last few episodes, has been solid. There was those times where we just went on, 19 games unbeaten or something along those lines, and we went from 5th to 4th. So we can't really afford to let that happen anymore. We are just going win after win after win now, trying to close that gap to the top and trying to win that Premier League finally. After so long of coming close, season after season before, we look to try and make sure that that doesn't happen this time around. And this time, 3rd time's the charm for us, and we can finally lift some gold. Finally lift some silverware even, and lift a trophy. And Jurgen Locadia once more, trying to make sure that we get somewhere near that. 4 goals now in 3 games for Jurgen Locadia. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm not too sure who... Oh, it was Villalba who makes that incredible run there. Almost untested the entire way. It's like the Swansea defence didn't want to try against him, and that is such a simple tap in. Now Sinkgraven, look at all the space he's allowed to pass that into Jurgen Locadia with, and he doesn't even stop. It looks as if he doesn't even take a moment to check the goal. Locadia just thumps one into the back of the net for 2-0. Take a look at this on the replay now. Left with so much space there. Just runs. No, he takes one look at the goal and smashes it into the bottom left corner. No way. I believe it's Fabianski is going to be getting to that. Second half now. Ben Osborne making one hell of a run. Finds Locadia. And welcome back for good. Jurgen Locadia with a hat-trick. That is an absolutely beautiful third goal around the defender. Lovely passing by Osborne, and Fabianski rooted to the spot in and just completely outdone there by the goal by Jurgen Locadia. His hat-trick here today, and I think we may actually see the graphic for how many goals it's been this season. Hopefully we will. Yep, 8 goals. And bearing in mind, he's missed 3 months of game time with an injury, and he's back now, and he is just firing those goals in. Got a round of applause from the Forest faithful, as you can hear, when he gets subbed off. Only for fitness reasons, really, because we had a game coming against Spurs after this, and then a Champions League game, I believe, against Wolfsburg on the way. Ben Osborne here does he just assisted that lovely goal by Locadia, and he decides, you know what, I'll go out with my own solo goal. I'll have headlines. I'll try and get my name out there in amongst that Locadia hat-trick. Lovely goal by Osborne. Shows why we haven't got rid of him in the 3 seasons he's been here. Look at the curl on that goal as well. There's absolute... How do you get that? I don't know how Ben Osborne gets that much curl on the shot, but it's much to the amusement of Papa ProJaked, who celebrates that goal, the 4-0 win as well, and another 3 points. We are back, and we are going full steam ahead on the quest to try and close in the gap to West Ham, to the top 4, the top 3 even. We are wanting to prove that whatever happened for those months was a complete fluke. It shouldn't have happened, and we are ready to show our bounce back ability. And heading into the latter stages of the season, we want to be up there, and we want to be lifting that Premier League trophy, just how Jurgen Locadia is lifting that match ball he receives today. So now, with that being said, we still have the replay to play against Derby. Off to a good start. Wayne Rooney's got a goal, and I think we're safe already. But, you know, with this being the 3rd season, with us coming close to winning so much silverware in the past, over the last 2 seasons, it would be nice to actually win something for a change. That's the thing we got to remember. We haven't won anything. I've been here now, I mean, aside from Europe, you know, the international cups, we haven't won a single bit of silverware, and that is deeply frustrating. And I want that to change, and it seems as if it may actually start to change, hopefully. As you can see, though, people still have a game in hand over us, but we are significantly gaining. We started off the episode, what was it, 7 points behind West Ham. Now, if they win their game in hand, it's only 4. So, good stuff there. Very, very excited to see where this can go. And that is going to end this episode of Cream Mode. Hopefully, things will be more consistent. Fingers crossed. That'll end this episode of Cream Mode. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys, and ta-ra.